All right. We are here today in our normal studios. Although I did miss being with Alad in person at the podcast movement event, it is our 33rd town hall today. And we're just super excited again to be able to be here again, to connect with you guys, to be able to educate you on Evmux, and of course, to see all of our amazing community tuning in. So I can ask you today, Alad, because I haven't been with you, how has your week been?
Yeah, today you can ask me because since I think we left, you left on Thursday evening.
Thursday. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a great week as always. So many things happening. Also, after this event, we talked with the people that we met there. Great meetings, great people. Man, great week as always. How was yours?
Yeah, my week was good. Just coming back and getting caught up with everything, just continuing to create some videos, and just getting connected with the community to see what other things that we need to do to be able to help them keep moving forward. So, really, really excited. We see we got Susan here in the chat. Coming in. What's going on, Susan? We got Right Theology Forum is from India. What's going on? What's going on? Welcome, welcome. And we got Susan in here with our other channel, Studio 1209 Group. I love it. I love it. I love it. So today's town hall, we want to focus on is looking at ways that you can go ahead and utilize the screen share feature, right? This is super important because so many of you are using it for presentations, to bring in videos, to just do so much with it. So we wanted to go ahead and go a little bit deeper today into the screen share feature to talk about ways you can utilize it, because there's multiple ways to be able to utilize it in different scenarios as well, that we want to go ahead and uncover for you today. If it is your first time here in the town hall, what we like to do is always in the beginning talk a little bit about the topic of the day, and then from there we like to go ahead and do a demo of the topic that we're talking about, along with answering your question, which is our favorite part there. And we have the man mindset coming in here to join us for the town hall today. So a lot, as always, let's talk about the screen share feature. Why has this been a feature that a lot of people are utilizing? Why is it was a key to include it into Evmux, and to include it in the way that we did, where it wasn't just sharing your screen, but adding multiple features to it that allow you to be able to go ahead and customize it.
Yeah, 100%. So share screen is something very basic in every tool. Even in Zoom, in calls, people do share their screens. So it was a no-brainer for us that this should be a feature. But then when you do live streams, when you record your content, you would like to have capabilities to really be able to adjust and customize the share screen. So it starts with allowing you to do picture in picture. And we had a great video, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, explaining about picture in picture. For people not really understanding the term, picture in picture means that you have the screen share pretty big usually, and then your face on other speakers' faces next to it with a very nice background and look and feel. So of course you can do that, but it doesn't end there, because sometimes people share their screen and then you see also the URL, and you see some additional stuff that you don't want to do, you don't want to have, and sometimes even you want to share specific piece of your screen and not showing all the rest. So basically the way to solve that is allowing you to crop your share screen. By allowing you to crop your share screen, the video we had this week, we were focusing on how to show your YouTube chat. Okay, that's simply because a lot of people ask this specific question. Like they were like, okay, it's nice that I can highlight comments, but what if I would like just to show everything on the screen? A lot of people just like this layout, and we appreciate that. So basically we're talking about share screen cropping. The video specifically focusing on the YouTube chat, because a lot of people asked about it. But if you really dive into the details, this capability is great for so many different use cases. I can give you another example. We had a client in the support chat asking us to share that they are doing a sport podcast, something about football, and they wanted to show them the scoreboard of the game during the podcast, that it will also it will update live real time from a website. But they didn't want to share a screen with showing the whole website. They just wanted the scoreboard. And then pretty quickly we explained them how they can share the screen of the website, crop only the scoreboard out of it, and then position it wherever they would like on the screen. They were like shocked, like, wow, this is exactly what we wanted. And this is always the same functionality, just being used for different use cases.
Yeah, and I think that's super important. Just like you said, I didn't even think of it that way, of being able to utilize the scoreboard to be able to go ahead and display just the score, especially so that way you don't avoid any kind of issues with having, the game playing. So that's super cool. We get the mindset says, Anthony, congrats on your wedding. Thank you so much. Back to work. Of course, it was back to work 2 days from there. I love it. I love being here. I love the Evmux family. and I wouldn't change nothing for the world. So we got Oshri here in the house in Iran as well, but super excited. So, a lot of people have seen the power of the screen share feature. And of course, there's multiple use cases for it. But particularly, we wanted to go ahead and showcase just the crop action of it because it's something that's very limited in all aspects, right? You only really get access to this to do it in like, softwares like OBS or, Vmix and things of that sort. But today we wanted to show you guys how that actually works. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and play the video, demo how the cropping actually works. And then when we come back, we can talk a little bit more about it, showcase some other aspects of how you can utilize it. And of course, always be able to go ahead and take your questions. And Darius, welcome to the stream.
All right, enjoy the video. Darius,
Perfect.
just on time.
Yeah.
In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can go ahead and display your full YouTube chat while you're live streaming directly inside of Evmux, so that way you can see all the comments that are coming through during your live event. So let's go ahead and jump into my Evmux account so I can show you just how easy this is to go ahead and set it up utilizing our screen share crop feature. So once you're inside of your Evmux live stream editor, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure you're utilizing the Pro Scenes feature. So on the left hand side, you can create a scene or use a scene that you already have set up. I've created a default scene here with just a simple background, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and display our YouTube chat in full. So to be able to accomplish this, you're going to want to come to your live stream, and you're going to want to make sure that you have a tab open with that live stream displayed. That way we can see both the video and the actual chat. Once you have that open, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come back to Evmux. You're going to come down to the bottom where it says share screen, and then you're going to go ahead and select Chrome tab. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure you uncheck share tab audio. That way there's no sound coming in, because all we want to do is display the YouTube chat. Then you're going to go ahead and select the tab, which is going to be your live stream, and you're going to select share. This is going to go ahead and pop over to confirm that this is the screen that you want to go ahead and share, and then you have the option to be able to stop sharing. So then go ahead and go back to the live stream editor, and at the bottom you're going to see the screen share is now visible. We're going to select add to Pro Scene, and what we're going to want to do here is that right now you see the full screen. So what we want to do is you want to go ahead and just size this up and make it to the size where you actually want it. Now, once it's there, what I want you to do is click on the element and then have this little option where it says crop. You're going to grab one of the corners and you're literally going to come in and crop this to the point where you want it to be. Again, you can crop as much of it as you want. So that's where I feel that it's going to be good. And now you can come here and resize this to make it the size that you want and position it in the place on your live stream where you want it to be displayed as well. So now that we have our chat on here, now we can go ahead and also add in our camera. So again, here I have my camera. I can go ahead and resize this. And now I've pretty much just created a scene where it's my camera and also my chat. If you ever wanted to disable the lower third on the actual camera, you can go ahead and do so. So once here, you click on the element, you come to where it says lower third, and then you can go ahead and simply go ahead and remove it. And now you can see here that now I'm on screen, my chat is being displayed, so all my viewers are able to see themselves having conversations, and then I still have this ability to be able to come to comments and pop up certain questions or comments from the people who are chatting on YouTube. So just like that, you can see just how powerful it is to be able to utilize the screen cropping feature inside of Evmux. And this is just one way to be able to utilize it. Now, if you want to learn how to utilize the picture-in-picture feature, go ahead and watch this video right here where I show you how to use picture-in-picture for screen sharing, for videos, and even for presentations. Go ahead and click that video there to watch it now. I'll see you guys in the next video.
All right. So just like Susan says, I love this feature. We got Motar Woods Media coming in from Pennsylvania. I love it. So, with the screen share feature, and anybody who's answering any questions, we'll definitely go ahead and start addressing them here in just a few moments. But we wanted to go ahead and talk about the screen share and be able to talk about other use cases for it, right? Because there's been scenarios where if you've ever been live streaming, utilizing any tool, when you share your screen, a lot of times, it can be out of placement. It can be kind of not in frame. And one of the biggest things that the crop allows you to do is to be able to get it as perfect as possible for you. So I don't know if you want to share your screen and demo, or we just want to go ahead and simply chat about it. But having the ability to screen share crop opens up a lot of opportunities, especially if you have a graphic, right? So a lot of people like to have graphics with predefined boxes, meaning that, you got to get your screen share in there to be able to size it correctly. But when you don't have the option to be able to crop it, it's going to limit what you can be able to do, right? So when we look here at the screen share, right now, a lot is sharing a screen. So you have the availability for using ProScenes to be able to go ahead and edit in real time. So a lot, I'll let you go ahead and take over and kind of walk them through and explain the process of what this actually looks like.
Yeah, of course. So the reason we're sharing screen is because a great use case of cropping the share screen, like we talked before the video, just for people that joined us a bit later. Um, Basically, we talked about briefly about being able to crop your share screen and then adjust it as you want. We gave an example of a scoreboard that you want just to crop a piece of your screen and then be able to show only this and then position it picture in picture in your ProScenes and everything. Another great use case is, think about it, that you have a guest that is going to share their screen. Okay, so we're creating a scene. Let's create a new scene here. Let's call it guest. Guest. Let's share. All right. Let's create this scene. And then I'll go to layers and let's add the speaker that I want to have. Let's say it's Darius. Hi, Darius. You're always our great example.
Yeah.
Let's put Darius here. And let's say that we want also Darius to share his screen. All right. So Darius is going to share his screen as well. And his screen will be somewhere here. Okay. Now, I prepared everything ahead of time. Amazing. It means when Darius will join, even before we go live, I will see Darius' feed here. And once Darius is sharing his screen in the speaker room, I will also see the share screen feed here. Perfect. But what if I'm seeing that, I want to crop it a little bit because there are things I don't want in Darius' share screen. I can quickly do that even if I'm live. Let's say that I have the intro video playing. Let's say I have another scene playing now and Darius is coming up next, whatever. No worries. I can go here. I can use the crop. Now I will see his feed, so I'll know exactly how it looks and where to crop. So I'll do this. I'll do this. I'll do this. And that's it. When I'm ready, I can just transition. And you remember how powerful it is that you can edit while you're live without anyone knowing what you're doing behind the scenes. And then they don't see the tweaks that you're doing, only the final result and only when you are doing the transition. So just wanted to showcase this for you quickly. Feel free to ask questions. I think that's another very, very powerful usage of this feature, basically share screen cropping.
Yeah, and I think that was super, super important. And I think, you just skimmed over it a little bit, but it was just like, the ability to prep beforehand. I think that's huge, right? Being able to go ahead and not only crop a screen, but to be able to add a screen ahead of time before it's even in the system. It's also going to allow you to be able to have more customization in your presentation and your layout, right? For example, the screen share, you can decide where it's going to be, especially if you have a guest coming on and you're going to be, they're going to do a presentation. Not only can you, one, sidestep, ask them to give you the presentation ahead of time and plug it into the software ahead of time and also set it up before. But if they're going to share their screen, you can also just have that predefined. That way it's easier transition, where it's like, hey, somebody shares their screen. Now by accident, they have the wrong tab open, they have the wrong scene, or hey, now you have a pause moment that's not needed because you're trying to get everything scrambled. You're like, okay, share your screen a lot. And then a lot is trying to share his screen. And now for 5 minutes, there's no talking, there's no engagement because you're trying to get everything set up. So again, having the ability to do that and being able to edit it and customize it ahead of time is why we, kind of push so much the ProScenes feature. And since we're on the ProScenes, we had a question here from Joseph. Joseph said, can you change the position of my logo on the screen? Right. So this is where the ProScenes can come into hand. Now, if you're talking about dynamic, the logo positioning is going to remain on the top right hand side. Correct, Elad?
Yes, exactly. Okay. So let's just talk about that. And again, I can also demo it and we can talk about the differences. So let me quickly share my
Yeah,
screen.
I think seeing is always
Again?
believing.
Yeah, Joseph will believe us.
Yeah.
All right. So you see my screen now. If I'll go to dynamic, okay, so in dynamic, we have logos, okay, that I can decide to show on the screen.
Right.
And then it will go on the top right corner whatsoever. Okay, you cannot move it. And the reason in dynamic it's like that, because think about it, dynamic is maybe the easiest way to just go live. You are very templatized to those templates, logo on the side, background, that's pretty much it. But it's very, very easy. So for beginners, for people that really want to do something simple, sometimes dynamic is just the best way to go with.
Right.
Alternatively, if you do want to go to the next level, you do want to edit and customize the look and feel of your layout, then this is where we are pretty unique in the industry by allowing you the pro scenes. So let's take this scene as an example where you have Anthony and I. You can see that we have layers that you can edit, add to the scene, and then any layer you can fully customize and drag and drop. You see that our logo in this case is on the center bottom. That's because this is where we wanted it. We wanted Anthony to be here on the left and me being here on the right. We can design it totally differently. Let's take the scene that I just created. Sorry, where is it?
Should be there. Yeah.
Too many scenes here for me.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of scenes
this
there,
one
for
sorry.
sure.
Here,
there
this
you go.
one. All right. So the scene here, you see that I can really go here and make Darius bigger next to the share screen and make the share screen smaller now just because I want to. And then I can go again to layers and let's find the logo that I want to add. Okay, I want to add the same logo that was on my simple dynamic scene. Now I can take
Freeform it
here and here. And let's say I want to add a background now. I'll just go to media files and I'll find a nice background here. Let's take this one, whatever, this one, okay? And then I position it at the bottom. And then look, I have a background, I have a logo, I have my speakers. Of course, it looks awful because I didn't try to really design it nicely. But you understand, you got the point. You can just fully customize the look and feel. You can add more speakers, more screen share, more videos, more pictures, whatever. You're just not limited with what you can do on ProScenes. And you can create it ahead of time and not on the fly.
Right, 100% of the time. And that's where the, dynamic is if you're looking for speed and simplicity, right? Speed and simplicity. Where dynamic, you just want to be able to have yourself, have a guest, have a screen, go live. Really try to give it to where your stream is still going to look professional, but it's not going to have so much complexity or customization to it. And then when you want a fully customizable live stream or recording or presentation, you go pro scenes because we don't limit you. We give you a clean canvas and you can arrange anything in any order that you want. And the reason why we created pro scenes was because we understood how important it was for people to have a unique presence online, right? We didn't want everybody's live stream to look exactly the same, right? Everybody has a creative touch, a creative mindset, and the way that they want to present their content to the world, right? So pro scenes allows you to do that. That's why we say that Evmux allows you to create fully customizable live streams and recordings, because we don't limit you to your creativity and your positioning of where you want to place things. Everything that you see here on this layout right now, that little live button, it was on this side, the little live button is created by me, right? It's just like an image. It's not really a live button. It's the logo's in the middle. You got text there. We got a animated background behind us. All these things are customizable and powered by pro scenes. So it's super important for us to be able to have that. So we had a question here from, let me see if I missed it, from Trumpet Master says, how soon until we can blur out that background? So go ahead. Did you want to answer that?
Yeah, definitely working on it. We're getting this request a lot to allow not only blur, but also virtual backgrounds and things like that. We do have the green screen capability, something very robust, and we have a great video on it, but that's only if you have a green screen, just FYI. Definitely working on it. You do have a workaround for that if you will use softwares like Snap that you can download a virtual camera to your computer, and then you will do the blur and everything using this camera, this app, and then in Evmux, you will go and
Right.
change to this virtual camera in your settings, it will work for you. We understand it's a workaround. It's not very easy to do sometimes, like more steps needed. So
Right.
definitely working on this feature.
Yeah, 100%. But like I said, there's always workarounds to be able to accomplish. Like if that's the thing that's holding you back from being able to utilize the tool, there's definitely integrations that can happen right now to be able to allow you to be able to achieve that. So we got here, Susan said, that's why I like editing on the fly. It's super important. And I think that we should spend a little bit of time talking about that right now, of just like, whenever you use pro scenes to be able to prep ahead of time to make sure that there's a little amount of error and things to go wrong, right? But sometimes you still need to make some kind of adjustments, right? And being able to go ahead and have the scene open here on the left hand side in the preview window and being able to make changes or edit. What if, for example, I think this is something good too, right? Let's say, for example, Darius was our speaker, right? And Darius actually is like, hey, you know, my computer shut down. I can't go up. So now it's like, oh, we got to bring the next guest up, right? So what if we didn't have a scene for the next guest, right? We can actually just replace Darius's image and Darius's share screen with a simple click of a button. I think we should actually show that, because a lot of times when you try to create a new scene, you may feel like you got to start all over. But we understood the importance of speed and simplicity as well, to be able to replace any element using Pro Scenes. So you can replace screen share and camera. And what it does when you use the replace feature is that it automatically keeps everything formatted the way that you had it. So when you see he's there, Alad's going to replace the screen. It's going to just put somebody else's screen, and the screen share stays the same size, right? Whereas if you were to just share a new screen, it's not going to be formatted. It may be full screen, it may be too small, it may not be too big. So editing on the fly and being able to swap out guests with just like that, not only does it allow you to be able to use the same kind of scene for every guest, right? To say like, hey, I don't want to create 19 scenes for guests that are going to be on the screen and sharing their screen. I want to use one. I'll transition it over. I'll bring that scene back up, and I'll just replace people, because it'll be a little bit easier to do it that way. But if you didn't know, that feature is super powerful, and it just works on every element. When I come in here and edit the video for the town hall, I use replace. Why? Because it already has the auto switch and tag to it. It already has all the elements that are attached to it as well. And utilizing the replace feature just makes it a lot easier to be able to bring in new elements without changing the sizing or the settings that you had set up already beforehand. And I think that right there really is a game changer to be able to see that. Christian's coming in here from watching from Illinois. It says, noticed Facebook comments aren't showing in your interface. So Facebook comments should be coming up on our comments on the left-hand side.
Yeah, we have them. It's just without, maybe you mean that they come without the names. And
Without the name.
That's a Facebook privacy policy thing. And what we're working on now is to, when you will share your videos, I mean, your streamings in Facebook, you post it through Evmux, we will have another piece of text letting you and your guests know what they need to do to approve Evmux basically for themselves, right. And then their names will come up into Evmux. Right. But it's unfortunately not an Evmux issue that we can just fix. It's the Facebook privacy policy. Because here I have this comment, it's coming from Facebook, and I can show it. Okay, and actually it's a question. What is it? My partner could get his PowerPoint to work in presentation mode, so I was able. Perfect, exactly. Yeah, that's another perfect. Great way to use the crop, because sometimes people sharing their slides, but it's not on full screen, and you get also comments and things outside of it that you don't really want to show, so you can easily crop only the relevant part. Super important.
Yeah, 100%. And just like I said, that's where the pro scenes comes into play, because you're able to go ahead and just have so much customization. And I think that's the huge part. I mean, you see us having a stinger transition, right? How many times have you seen a web-based tool have a stinger transition, right? And again, those are things that are intensive into a computer if you're utilizing a software, right? All these animations, all the things that are happening in your live streams. Like if you don't have like static images or just pictures, like, okay, that's not very intensive on your computer. But the minute you start using a software and you start having animation and you start adding video, those are all resources that are being pulled inside of your machine. Whereas opposed to utilizing Evmux inside of the browser, we're doing all the heavy lifting for you, allowing you to be able to have those elements, those features that make it look super polished and professional for your viewers there.
And I'm not even talking. I'm not even talking about. We talked about it on the backstage. If you have a software on your computer and you try to record, then your computer is almost dying. Like your computer, like stop, please,
it will blow up.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's super intensive. I've tried it before in the past, where trying to live stream and record individual sources. Like, hey, I'm doing a live stream with all my overlays, but I just want to record my camera and I just want to record my gameplay. And doing that, I mean, the computer is just coughing, like just ready to blow, and starts to lag. And you see, that's the power here, where you can be live streaming inside of Evmux. You can be locally recording your individual elements, like your camera and your audio, without any hiccups. Things would just flow smoothly. And if you do have a hiccup inside of your live stream because of like an internet issue, the local recording is still going to be smooth, allowing you to be able to still utilize that content for post-production. So I think it's super good there. And I see Susan last week in the podcast movement, she had asked a way to be able to integrate her iPad to be able to go ahead and utilize it inside of her live streams. And it looks like she went ahead and solved that. Susan, love that you're taking action. She said, I found a great way to add my iPad as a graphics tablet from last week. Thanks for the challenge. Love it. I love it. If you definitely want to go ahead and get connected with me to show me how you did it, I can definitely go ahead and make a video, because I'm sure other people have tablets that want to go ahead and utilize that. And I'll be more than happy to make a video on that for our community.
It's great to see. It's great to see people like Susan growing as a content creator. It's crazy because I don't know exactly how long, but at least 10 weeks or so, we have Susan joining our town halls and being very active in the community. And you see how she's improving all the time, striving to learn new things. And that's what I like about these people, the creators, always curious, always trying to learn new things. And that's how they help us to grow, because that's another great example of her coming with something that we didn't really think about, of adding an iPad or something to the stream. And now hopefully we'll do a video on it, because a lot of people like Susan are interested on how to do that. Without Susan asking us this question and really trying it herself and finding a solution, we won't do this video. So thank you, Susan, and encouraging everyone else to do the same. Amazing.
Right. Yeah. 100% agree. And then we got Zach Plays that came through here as well. Hello. Zach, welcome. I'm glad you're loving it and you to the platform. We'd definitely love to know how you're utilizing the platform, what kind of content you're making. And then we got here, and we'll get to your question here. Since we just addressed Zach, we'll say here, question from Joseph, because we like to go in order. And Christian said, I'm blown away by the ISO feature tool. A lot of people are. Because it just simply works. And I think that's where it comes down to, where it's like when you have those local recordings and being able to have the individual video and the individual audio, even your screen share is also part of that ISO recording, right? So if you share your screen, that screen share is also recorded individually, allowing you to be able to then, when you go edit a video, to have the screen share by itself, to have the audio by itself, to have the video out by itself, and then also have the full production. So again, really, people were blown away by the local recording feature at Podcast Movement. Even people here who are utilizing it for their content. Super powerful.
And what's great about this feature, that what was really interesting for us in Podcast Movement to see that, we are basically now, I think, I don't want to say the only one, but we're pretty unique in being very robust in our live streaming and video editing capabilities, and also having those local recordings up to 4K, uncompressed, isolated files, etc. Usually those features were only for recording apps, like recording platforms. So we are now, I think, pretty unique of being both in one. So for people having podcasts that they are not live streaming at all, they still can find Evmux as the best solution for them, because they can record their content in the highest quality, but record it kind of ready to go with amazing backgrounds, amazing transitions, with their intro video already in place, and not doing so much post-production work, because post-production takes time. It's not that it's not doable, it's totally doable. But if you can do 95% of the recording ahead of time, why
Right.
won't you? Like not ahead of time, but when you record, like record it as a final version, and then just do tweaks here and there post production. And we've heard a lot of people really excited about that. It's not that we think about it and then people say no, it's not important. People really got excited about it, and I think we are in a great position in the market, and I'm excited simply sharing it with our community.
I love it. And great question here from Joseph that said here, can you use this software for a town hall meeting for up to 100 people? So as far as how many people can watch it, it's unlimited. As far as having people inside of it, I don't know if you want to address it, but if you go above a certain limit, there's something that we can do to be able to assist you. But if you want to address it, Alad, you definitely can.
Yeah, of course. So let's just explain the difference. People watching, we're a live streaming platform, basically. Let's assume that you are live streaming that, okay? So you decide where you would like to live stream it to. So you can, we support, it depends on your package, but in the basic plan, in the free plan, it's 2 destinations, basic 5 and pro 9. It means basically you can stream to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch at the same time without any issues. Even to in Facebook, it can be a group and a page and a profile, etc. So Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube as an example, and even Twitch, they're not limiting you on how many people can watch. Okay, so it's basically out of Evmux already. It depends on the platform you're streaming to, but those 4 platforms, they are not limiting you. So unlimited people can watch you basically. And regarding people inside as guest speakers, co-hosts, etc., it's up to 12 people on the stage at the same time. And then if you want more than that, you can reach out to us. We have a bespoke packages. But from our experience, for the 99% of our clients, 12 is way more than enough.
I agree. Great response. We got a question here from Christian. We also got a few people tuning in here. Just want to go ahead and address them there. We have Tejano Time. It was great meeting you at Dallas. Welcome. Yeah, Shauna tuning in, my new wife coming in from Florida. And then, of course, Susan thanking us for the platform. Again, the platform can be made without you guys utilizing it, giving us feedback so we can continue to improve it. So we got a question here from Christian that says, do you and all participants need to leave the browser on Evmux until all uploads finish? So when you want to address it? Go ahead.
Yeah, I can answer. So
sure.
Maybe we can quickly explain how the local recordings basically work. Okay.
Yep.
So the idea is that on top of the full recording that you have in Evmux, okay, when you have the local recording turned on, it also record on each and every one of the speakers locally. What do we mean locally? It means that once during they are in the browser, in the speaker room, like now Anthony and I are in the speaker room speaking to each other, okay? And also for you as the producer, anyone with the camera on, let's say like that, not even camera and mic, okay? So your computer is starting to record locally on the fly. It's not that we're waiting to the end or something like that. During the show, we are starting to upload on the background the data of your local recording to the cloud. Okay, so the system is smart enough to understand what is your internet connection capabilities, how fast it is. And as long as we're getting the highest resolution from camera to the cloud, let's say your camera is full HD. Okay, as long as we're getting full HD from you and you still have more bandwidth in your internet, we will use this bandwidth to upload the local recording at the same time. And then at the end of the show, yes, you need to stay in the browser until you finish to upload it, and our system will give you the indication for it. So if you are trying to go out, the system will pop up and say, hey, we uploaded only 80% of your local recording, please stay, and you will see the progress bar to see when it ends and when you can leave. Usually it's pretty quick process because the internet connections these days are pretty fast.
Yeah.
If not, just you can turn off camera, you can mute yourselves and let the system do what it needs to do. But yes, to like the fast answer is yes, you have to stay there until the local recording will finish to upload, because For the local recording only, we are relaying your computer, right? Because it's from your computer being uploaded to the system. For the main recording, I mean, what you see now on YouTube, for example, we don't need you to wait in the room to have it ready, because immediately after the show ends, within 5 minutes, and you'll have it in Evmux ready to go. That's basically the difference.
Yeah, and it's great, and it's pretty fast. So it's not like your guests are gonna have to stick around for an hour, 30 minutes, like if you're uploading or downloading a video. It's pretty quick. And when your guests are getting ready to leave, they'll get a pop-up. They'll say, hey, so much the percentage is done. The local recording is almost done. And then most time, by the time they close that up, because it's like Alad said, is doing it in real time, you hardly don't have to stick around for a long time. So for example, when we finish the town hall here, it's already all doing our local recording, and then by the time we end the broadcast, and by the time I get here and I just hit exit, most of the time the local recording is done and ready to go. So there's not really too much of a delay after that.
And also, worst case scenario, just to mention, worst case scenario, your guest left before it finished. There is a way to go back, like reach out to the support team. There is a way to ask the guest to join back and basically finish the upload, because it's not that the file is being deleted. The file is still there in the browser somewhere. We won't go into that much, but the data is on the computer of your guests. They just need to make sure that they go to the right place that we will provide you, and then the data will fly back, and you'll have it in the cloud ready.
Yeah, 100%. Tijano time. Definitely we'll see you at the next podcast moving conference for sure. And then we got here, Martin says, can you talk about connecting Stream Deck to Evmux? Now, I'm not sure, Martin, if maybe you were the one to ask about it in one of the YouTube videos, but it is a video that I have made. It's pretty much almost done, and it'll be out Monday. So this Monday, that video will be coming out where I show you guys how to be able to connect the Stream Deck. I walk you step by step how to go ahead. I have Evmux open on this side. I have the Stream Deck software open on this side. And I'm literally walking you step by step on how to add the hotkeys and how to utilize it. So that video will be out on Monday, Martin. So just make sure that you have notifications on for the channel. Make sure you subscribe to it. And then that will give you the whole breakdown of how to utilize it. But there is a video right now on how the hotkeys work, right? So if you understand how to add a hotkey inside of the Stream Deck, that video that's on the channel now where I talk about the hotkey features should give you enough information to be able to know how to connect it. Otherwise, if you're more visual, just wait till Monday, 1 p.m. The video will be available. Again, I just like to want to just say, a lot of the content that I'm making is driven by you guys' questions, right? So it's almost giving me an endless amount of ideas to be able to create content on. So again, Susan just had that iPad situation, right? How do you take an iPad and connect it to the Evmux? Great, that's a video. So anytime you guys have questions, we're always looking at the YouTube comments for things that you may want to know. In the Facebook group, reach out to me directly. And if it's something that it's a question that you're struggling with, most likely other people are having the same issue or may encounter something like that, and being able to go ahead and help them is super important. So I said, again, everything we do here at Evmux is driven by the community, to the features, to the content we create, to how we approach our town halls, to what we do as a company. It's all driven by you guys' information. So again, we're super appreciative for that information.
100%.
Yeah,
keep going,
right?
Keep doing that. Keep
going.
letting us know what you think. Yeah, all the time.
It makes our lives easier, so much easier. 100%. So Tiana Science has been telling my students about the YouTube Streaming Podcast Club. I've been starting on my campus. Some of them have shown interest. That's great. I know we talked about that idea, and it was a great idea, and we're super excited to see you change the lives of those young people, and getting them into content creation, streaming, and it's just the future. So super excited that, and they're using Evmux as the tool to be able to show them. So we love that. Joseph says here, question from Joseph: can you create a supreme room for your production team if you want? Right?
Yes. A lot of people do that, and the way to do it is basically create another session. We do it a lot when we do productions as white glove solutions for clients. We create another session. We call this session Green Room. For example, you can call it whatever you want. Okay, we call it Green Room, and we are assigning to this session only the relevant people from the team. and then you share the, when you're joining as a speaker, so you can select the sessions you're assigned to. So you instruct your production team to assign to go to the green room session, and then you can talk there separately than the main production room, the main speaker room, if you will. Okay, so your speakers and everything, they will be in the regular room with the producer and everything. On top of that, you will be able to have another green room that only your team will have access, and regular speakers just won't be there because they won't be assigned to this session. That's the way to do that.
Yeah, and one of the things too is that you can toggle between those sessions directly inside of the editor. So why don't you demo? I think it's a good idea to demo that where you can just kind of toggle. So you don't need to have 10,000 tabs open to be able to go between these kind of sessions. And not only just for a green room, but also if you're just having an event and you have multiple speakers happening at different sessions that are going live at the same time. You'll see here when Alad shared his screen that we have tabs inside of Evmux that allow you to toggle between different sessions. So again, you can see it here. Go ahead and break it down since you're sharing.
Yeah, of course. So you can see here, now I'm on the Townhall Evmux, but let's say that this session is the training or green room or whatever. As a producer, I can simply go and do that, and just I won't do it now because I want to still produce the show, but I can do that. Let's say that I have a video running for half an hour now, and I'm pretty free as a producer. I don't have much to do, and I would like to connect with my production team that they're in the green room. I can simply click on it and go to this room to discuss with them. Also, as a guest, let me show you how it looks. I'll bring this. So as a guest, I'll click on switch session, and then I can go to sessions I'm assigned to. Your speakers, if they're not assigned to the green room, they won't see that as an option to join. Only people you gave them the permission to, you assign them as speakers to this session. So your production team, in this case, they will be able to just join to the production team room easily. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, and that also gave a look into the speaker room and the guest experience, things of that sort. So again, we also want to make sure that, we came from the event industry. So understanding what was needed at an event and coming through the event industry and then getting requests to be able to do virtual events and looking at those things that allow you to be like, we come from a background of being remote producers, from being hosts on shows. So we understand the importance of being able to not only have that green room to do prep and tech and just make sure, or just to have a conversation with your team, and then being able to transition through this is why you see those features incorporated inside of Evmux. And then you have the push to talk. I think it's a great opportunity to talk about the push to talk because it's another way to be able to communicate. We understood that being in person with somebody and being able to have a conversation, it's a lot easier than to send them a text, because sometimes text can be construed, but inside of a live stream, if you have a guest or somebody who's on stage talking, it's very hard for them to break their gaze or their thought process or what they're talking about, to look at a chat to say like, hey, you need to move over, or hey, you're wrapping up. So we knew it was important to add a push to talk feature that allows you to be able to have access to somebody via voice chat. Whereas like right now, since Alad is a producer, he can send me a voice chat right now in real time, letting me know, say, hey, Anthony, your light in the background went off, or like, hey, we got to wrap up in the next 5 minutes. And you guys wouldn't hear that. Only I would hear it, allowing me to make the correct adjustments in real time. And again, this is where you think about the professionalism of your production to be able to make things look seamlessly. So again, it's super, super important with that feature there. So we have here, Martin says, thank you. Looking forward to it. Thank you. Oh, perfect. Yeah. It's going to be a good video. You're definitely going to go ahead and enjoy it. So Zach Plays had a question here, and I think I missed it earlier. But he said, can you share 2 times on the same scene? If so, is it part of a package? And if not, that is a good idea. So I'm assuming, since we're talking about sharing screen, that you're talking about being able to share 2 screen shares at the same time. So in pro scenes, if I'm mistaken, is that how you're reading the question a lot?
I'll take that. So you as the host, the producer, you can share your screen once, but on a scene, you can put on the process, you can put as many screen shares as you want, because we're talking about a layer. So you can add as many layers as you want, as many screen shares as you want. Then the question is what exactly you want to do. You want you yourself share 2 screens. For that, it's also doable. You'll have to join to the platform as an editor, of course, as a producer, but also invite yourself as a guest, and then having Evmux open in 2 different tabs. One is a guest, one is the host, and then share your screen twice. It's doable. And I think it makes more sense maybe when you have 2 guests or something like that. So yes, also your guest, all of them can share the screen anytime, and you as the producer will have them as sources. You can create scenes with them. You can have multiple share screens on the same scene as well. So you're not limited here. I don't know exactly what you're trying to achieve.
I think that was
more, but it's doable.
So I think that was it. As many guests as you have, as many screen shares you can put on there inside of. Maybe hard to be able to see and get them all looking right. But with the pro scenes, you can add multiple screen shares at the same time.
But also what you can do, because a lot of times you have, let's say I have 3 guests, okay, and I want all of them to share screen, and the share screen will be ready for me to use, okay, but then I want to first of all show what Anton is having, and then Elad's, and then James, and then whatever. I can create scenes ahead of time. Elad sharing screen, Anthony sharing screen, and James sharing screen. Okay, they will share them. They will be ready, those screens, for you as a producer, and then you just switch between the scenes seamlessly. And it's not that Anthony should all the time stop sharing, start sharing, stop and start, which is pretty annoying. So no, they will share first before even you go live. You'll have those feeds ready. You'll be able to do the cropping that we talked in the beginning, to do the adjustments, make sure it looks good. And then when you start the show, you just go between the different scenes. Super easy, and we do it a lot.
Right. Yeah, I agree there. He said it's for a subscriber count. So yeah, that scenario will work perfectly fine for you.
Yeah.
And then Christian says here, we really need the ability to be able to duplicate sessions for new episodes. So this is a request that has been highly requested, and it is something that we are working on to be able to do. But we also want to address, this is a video that I'm also going to make as well, because I also believe that sometimes we use the same session over and over again. We understand the need for duplication, and sometimes you just want to duplicate per episode to be able to have things a little bit more organized and cleaner. But you are able to utilize the same session over and over and over and over again, and just make slight modifications based on the new guest that you have, the new topic that you have, and that doesn't affect anything. So a lot of times, the date, sometimes the confusion is like, if I make a session and I put today's date at 1:00, then after that, if I have another session tomorrow, I got to make a new session to be able to utilize that, because it's no longer going to work. You can use that same session again for the next 50 episodes without changing it, and just move graphics around, move guests around, and things of that sort.
Correct.
For
the date
yeah.
in Evmux, it's only internally, basically for you. What's important is the date that if you are setting up scheduling for YouTube, for Facebook, and things like that. So of course the date is relevant because the post is going there. Other than that, the date in Evmux is only internal, for internal use for you. No one is seeing that. You can reuse session unlimited times, even if the date of the session was 1 year ago. No problem at all.
Yeah, perfect. And then question here from Zach says, I don't see the local recording button when I'm in the studio, and you explain if it's something to buy or something I'm doing wrong. So the local recording is a paid feature that's in our pro plan. So once you're on our pro plan, you do get access to be able to get the individual recording of the individual elements, like your camera and your microphone and things of that sort. So it's not currently available on the free plan. If anything you want to add, Elad.
Yeah, I'll just add that the place you see that when you click on either record or go live, depends if you have the broadcasting channel set up, then you will see that you can toggle on and off the recording, the regular recording and the local recording. Okay, so just make sure if you have the pro plan, it will be there. If you don't have it, yes, it's not available for you, and we encourage you to have the pro plan. And you have any further questions, of course, let us know.
Yeah, and also going into, because I know we can't demo it right now because we're currently live already, so you're not going to see the option to be able to do the recording. But
Yeah.
on the YouTube channel, there's a video that's labeled "How to Use Local Recording in Evmux," and in there you'll be able to get a visual of exactly where it's at, because it only becomes available before you go live. It'll ask you if you want to record, and you also want the local recording of the individual feature. So that's a quick way to see a visual where it's at, so you can be able to go ahead and find it. Yeah, perfect. Okay, you saw the video already. Wonderful.
Amazing.
So it's just like that, right? Again, we tried to be able to. We did a poll, right? It says, do you use the screen share feature? 59% of you said yes all the time. 41% said no, not yet, right? But again, even if you're not utilizing it, it's understanding what features are available to you. I think that, me and Allah talk about this all the time and say, what is the ultimate goal that we want to accomplish with our videos and with our town halls, specifically the town halls, right? Is that we want to get people to be really, 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 really good at using the foundational features inside of Evmux, right? Because once you understand the basics of the platform, then you can then take creativity and make all the changes and customizations that you actually like. So even if you haven't used screen share today, we wanted to spend time on it, to talk about it, to talk about the screen share cropping, to talk about how many screen shares you can have, how do you utilize it, how it works, how to use it in pro scenes, how to do picture in picture. Because once you know that information, when you do go to use it, you'll remember like, oh, I can crop this. Oh, I can move this around. Oh, like I want to set up a guest that's going to share a screen. Oh, wow. I remember that I can create a pro scenes and do that ahead of time. And there's just things like that equipped you to be better with the platform. So I think that's super important. So, with that, if we didn't get to address your question today, or if you're just finding out about Evmux today, join us in the Facebook group. We have an amazing community that is growing daily. Questions coming in, just learning so much about tools, people using Evmux different ways. And there's also a great way to connect with other people who may be doing something similar as you are, that can also guide you and help you to be able to create better content. Or who knows, they may be your next podcast guest. They may be your next guest on your show. So again, it's about getting connected inside of a community. And to be able to access the group, it's facebook.com/groups/Evmux for you to be able to join and be a part of that community. Me and Allah like to jump in there right after the town hall to address any questions that we may have missed. But with that, Allah, is there anything kind of finishing touches, finishing things you want to mention, anything related to Evmux?
I love you all. It's an amazing journey, and we're just in the beginning. Growing fast, getting the word spread, getting the word out there. Like a lot of people getting to know Evmux these days, and it makes us feel so good. But we are here. We're not going anywhere. We're staying connected to our community. And thank you for being with us for such a long time, for the people from the past, and thank you for those who are joining. You are joining in an amazing moment, because we're just starting. We're still just starting, less than 6 months out there. Let's do it together.
Yeah, it's amazing. So again, thank you everybody for joining in. Zach, welcome to the family. Everyone who came in here today, again, thank you. And then what do we always say a lot?
We'll see you in the next one.
We'll see you in the next one. Love y'all. Bye. This way. Yeah, this way. There we go. That was good. All right, I'm live. That was easy.